It's a show about a happy dog family. Warm, cozy, everyone plays together, nobody is sad for more than 7 minutes at a time. It is basically animated sunshine. And then you notice something. There are grandparents missing from this show. Not just one, multiple. And the ones who are there are only there sometimes, and one of them is dead. And another one vanished to India for what appears to have been an unspecified amount of time without telling anyone where he was going. And a little girl at bedtime says goodnight to a grandpa she cannot locate. This is a preschool show about dogs, and it contains more quietly devastating grandparent lore than most adult dramas. So today we are pulling on every thread. Who is missing? Why they are missing? What the show is actually telling us? And the real story behind where all of this came from. Because the answer to that last question is the most heartbreaking part of all. Let's get into it. Bluey has 4 grandparents in total, 2 on Bandit's side, 2 on Chili's side. That sounds perfectly normal. But the moment you start paying attention to who shows up, when they show up, and who is suspiciously never in the room, the whole picture gets significantly more complicated. On Bandit's side, you have Nana Chris and Grandpa Bob. Nana Chris is around constantly. She shows up for birthday parties, she babysits, she has the grandkids over to her apartment on the Gold Coast where she lets them eat as many ice pops as they want because that is the entire Nana energy. She is the warm, doting, slightly chaotic grandmother who learned the floss dance on a video call because her grandchildren asked her to. She is perfect. Grandpa Bob is a completely different story. He has made exactly 1 present-day appearance in the entire run of the show. 1. A single video call in a season 1 episode called Grannies, where he and Nana Chris both try to learn the floss dance, and Bob accidentally knocks the device over and ends the call. That is it. That is his entire present-day contribution to the show across 3 full seasons of television. He appears in a flashback in a season 3 episode called Fairy Tale as a younger version of himself, but even then he cannot remember his son Bandit's name while talking to him directly, which is either a funny gag or a quietly concerning detail, depending on how much you think about it. On Chili's side, Granddad Mort shows up regularly. He is a retired army man who eats curried sausages, goes canoeing, and plays games with Bluey and Bingo with the enthusiasm of someone who has genuinely missed having children around. He is wonderful. He is also a widower. Because Chili's mom, Bluey and Bingo's maternal grandmother, is dead. She passed away before Bluey and Bingo were even born. The girls never met her. So to summarize, 1 grandmother is around all the time. 1 grandfather disappeared to India. 1 grandfather is a widower, and 1 grandmother is dead. This is a preschool show about playing pretend. For years, nobody knew where Grandpa Bob was, and the show was not exactly rushing to explain it. Nana Chris would show up at birthday parties and family events with no Bob in sight. Fans started theorizing almost immediately. The most popular theory was that Bob had died, because what other explanation was there for a husband to be completely absent from every single family occasion while his wife attended them all? The show kept dropping small details that seemed to point towards something serious. Bob only ever appeared in pictures and in that 1 video call. Nana Chris lived what appeared to be a solo life at their Gold Coast apartment whenever the kids came to visit. And then there was the moment in a bedtime scene where little Bingo was saying goodnight to people in her life who were not there. And she included Grandpa Bob. And she added, "Wherever you are." That is a line from a preschool cartoon. Wherever you are. The internet went into full detective mode. Was Bob dealing with a health crisis? Had there been a family falling out? Had Nana and Bob quietly separated? Every theory got wilder and more emotionally complicated as seasons passed without a real answer. The show creator Joe Brum addressed the Bob situation on the Gotta Be Done podcast back in 2021. He confirmed that Bob was alive and promised he would appear in season 3 as what Brum called proof of life. In The Sign, the massive season 3 special that had half the internet crying into their sofas, Grandpa Bob finally returned, and the explanation for his absence was revealed. Bob had gone to India on a pilgrimage of self-discovery. He had gone to find himself, and he had found himself. And he came back just in time for Uncle Rad's wedding with a completely unbothered energy that suggested he had zero awareness of how much drama his absence had caused among the fan base. For years, the internet was preparing for tragedy. Bob Healer came back from India having apparently had a very nice time. While everyone was busy worrying about Grandpa Bob, the show was quietly handling something much heavier on Chili's side of the family. Chili's mom is dead, She died before Bluey and Bingo were born. The girls have no memory of her because there is no memory to have. She was gone before they arrived. The show handles this with the same understated emotional precision that it handles everything. There is no dramatic reveal, no tearful conversation, just small, carefully placed details that accumulate over time into something that hits much harder than a direct statement ever could. 2 photographs hang in the Healer family home's entryway. One shows Chili's mom with her husband Mort and their young daughters, Chili and Brandy. The other shows her alone on horseback. In the Season 3 episode, Dragon, Chili tells Bluey the story of her mother. She describes learning to draw as a child and never being able to get her horses quite right. Her mom sat with her and told her she would get better if she just kept practicing. It is a small, warm memory. Chili tells it the way people tell stories about someone who is no longer there. And Bluey does not recognize her grandmother when Chili draws her, because she never met her. Chili refers to her mom in the past tense throughout the episode. The implication is clear, confirmed quietly, and never milked for easy emotion. The show simply acknowledges that this grandmother existed, was wonderful, and is gone. Granddad Mort is a widower. He lives alone. He goes canoeing and eats curried sausages and plays elaborate games with his grandchildren with the energy of someone who knows better than anyone how quickly time moves and how much these moments matter. The show never says that, but it is there in every scene he appears in. Joe Brumm, the creator of Bluey, based the show on his own life. His daughters inspired Bluey and Bingo. His real mom, Chris Brumm, voices Nana in the show. His real dad, Bob Brumm, was the inspiration and model for Grandpa Bob, though he voices one of the Grey Nomads rather than Bob himself. His real brother Dan voices Stripe. His other real brother Adam, who is an archaeologist, inspired Bandit's career. His wife Susie is a storyboarder on the show. This is a family project in the most literal possible sense, and the story of Chili's mom being gone before the grandchildren arrived is also pulled directly from real life. In the Behind Bluey podcast, Brumm explained that the idea of Bluey and Bingo's maternal grandmother having passed away before Chili had kids was inspired by his own father's experience. Joe Brumm's father started his family without his own father present, because his grandfather had died before his family was created. Brumm's father had to figure out how to be a parent with no father of his own to learn from or lean on. That specific experience, the quiet weight of raising children without the parent who raised you still being there to see it, became the emotional foundation for what the show does with Chili's mom. This is a children's cartoon about a dog family playing pretend in Brisbane, and it contains a storyline about a man raising children without the father he lost too soon, hidden inside the absence of a character who never appears on screen. And because the show is built by a real family, with real voices, real names, and real experiences, every one of these details carries something that most children's television never gets close to. It feels true because it is true. Once you understand all of this, the way the show handles grandparents starts to feel less like a quirk and more like a deliberate, thoughtful portrait of how grandparents actually exist in real families. Some are there all the time. Nana Chris is everywhere, warm and present and learning the floss dance on a video call because her grandchildren want to share something with her, and she is not going to miss that for anything in the world. Some are there, but complicated. Grandpa Bob loves his family and is genuinely a fun grandfather, forgetful and silly and willing to floss alongside his wife. And some carry the weight of what is coming. The episode Grandad, in which Mort visits and plays with Bluey and Bingo, contains a line that Brumm himself has flagged as one of the most important in the show. Chili mentions in passing that Mort recently had surgery for heartworm. Mort shrugs it off. He is fine. He is energetic and playful and having the best time. But the mention is there. A retired army man getting on in years, with a daughter who notices and worries, and a household that lights up every time he arrives. The show is not hiding from what grandparents eventually represent in a family's life. It is just handling it the way it handles everything. Not with a dramatic speech or a tearful confrontation, but with a small, honest detail placed carefully in the middle of a scene about something else, because that is how these things actually happen. Not loudly, quietly. In the background of ordinary days, Bluey is a show about playing pretend. It is also a show about the people you love and the time you have with them and what it means when some of that time is already gone. And somehow, it fits all of that inside 7 minutes and a floss dance. Smash that like button if this one hit different, and subscribe so you never miss another video like this one. Got more Bluey theories or topics you want us to dig into? Drop them in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.